Hi, Nadia.
Hi, who am I saying hi to?
It's LJ.
Oh, okay. Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good today. How are you?
I am good. I'm just gonna get my kid out of the way, and then we'll. I'm just gonna let you. That's Lolly. You enjoy your lolly, sweetheart. I am just going to see if I can set the screen. Yeah. So you should be able to share your screen if you want to, Nadia.
Sure.
At any point.
Sure. Is Jennifer going to be here today?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. No, she just has to upload some templates for them to work on. So I just wanted to double check.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to see you. Hi,
Yeah.
Karen. Hi, everyone in the room.
Hi, I might as well start meeting everyone. Hi, Kieran.
Hi, Nadia. Nice to meet you. I work with LJ and more recently with Jennifer as well at the Generate team.
Okay, so nice to meet you. And Sampada? Oh, I think they're just logged in. They're not really here fully.
Hi, Camilla.
Hey LJ, hey Nadia, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm just gonna, it's always nice to say.
Hi, Narika. Hi, Camilla. Again.
Erika.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Sampada. I see you too. Pleased to meet you. AM. What does AM stand for?
They're a morning person.
Jose. Oh my gosh, so nice to see you. You may know some of this. I'm doing MVP testing, but it's lovely to see you. Jose is ex-SIE.
Yay, you've got your loyal following.
I know. So nice to
Hi,
see you,
Jennifer.
Jose. Oh, hi, Jennifer.
Hi. I hope I'm not late.
No. I'm just gonna get started.
Maybe we'll wait just a couple more minutes because we'll
Yeah.
gonna have
Yeah.
some stragglers.
Yeah. Jose can jump in and give advice halfway through.
Feel free.
Hi, Suisha. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Suisha in ages. Another SIE. Hi, Suisha.
So good to see you.
I know. Wow. We're getting the whole crew together.
Yoo-hoo.
So I'm just trying to see if any of these names were in my Open Innovation or DICE class, because a lot of the material I've pulled from there. No. So this is good. Okay, so maybe I'll share my screen actually.
Yeah, that's looking good. Yeah, that looks good, Nerd.
Yeah, wonderful. Jennifer, I take questions right through, but if it's anything written, can you make sure you can interrupt me because I don't monitor the written chat. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Anybody can stop me at any time.
I want to make sure. Hi everyone. Let me give it a little intro, if that's okay, before you start.
Sure.
This is very exciting to and I'm going to try to open to gallery so I can see everyone. Oh,
yeah, that would be great actually. Let's
but
do that.
You're sharing screen. How do you?
Oh, okay. So let me unshare.
Unshare for a second, please.
Stop share. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yay. Now I feel like I'm not talking to myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Schwartz. I'm an alum of LSC from the Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program, graduated 2019. And Nadia here was my amazing professor and mentor and thesis advisor and overall cheerleader. So I'm really excited to be part of this workshop. And let me, first of all, I want to wave to each of you, but a lot of you don't have your cameras on. So I want to invite you, if you're at a desk, to turn your camera on. We can connect that way with eye-to-eye contact in this virtual age as much as possible. Hi, Richard. Hi, Sophia. Hi. Camilla. Awesome. The more cameras on, the better, because this is definitely an interactive workshop. We want to encourage you to speak. Juan, I know you.
Juan, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know that Juan is there with that until the oh, so that name looks familiar, but is it? Amazing. Amazing. Definitely, this is interactive workshop. Feel free to write questions in the chat, speak to each other. Part of the goal of this, there's so many goals of this session, but is for you to connect with each other, support each other, ask questions, ask Nadia, ask LJ, use all the support networks around you. And I want to contextualize this is part of a bigger project, which is called the ASAP Club, which I had the privilege of working on with Suisha. Suisha, give a wave. Hi. And together we put together a digital toolkit for early stage entrepreneurs that collects so many resources in one place about how do you test your idea, how do you get started, when you have an idea, what is the first step you take to develop your venture. Another part is about how do you integrate impact into your venture, and about how do you, is entrepreneurship for me, like testing to know, do I have the right skills? Maybe it's not about entrepreneurship. Maybe I can do that elsewhere. All that's to say, maybe at the end we'll put the link in and showcase if you weren't part of the call last week. But really, it's a wealth of toolkits, frameworks, resources, links, all in one place, and a 5-episode podcast series. I should rephrase that. Speaking to mentors and founders. Oh, Suisha just popped it in the chat, so you can check that out later. And so we wanted to create an added bonus to the toolkit, which is the website. And that added bonus is the session with Nadia here, who's actually going to walk us through the steps about what it looks like how do you test your hypothesis, to know whether your idea has validation and whether you should pursue that route or maybe pivot and take a different route to address the problem that you're trying to solve. So really happy to be part of this, learn with you all. Bring forth your questions, your ideas, and I'm going to pass it off to LJ. Do you want to throw in something before I pass the mic on? Is LJ with us? I see LJ +1.
I am, sorry. I'm trying to keep silent because I've got about 72 children trying to
Amazing.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Well, first off to Jennifer and Suisha for putting this together. I think if you were at the first workshop, you will have just seen Florian out, and you will have seen what had gone into this. And we are so excited. But I think yeah, play on my phone. Here we go. Okay. If you ever have kids, just find the screens. It always works. Yeah, I think the main point here is we're gathered here today to listen to Nadia, which is fantastic, and I can't wait to kind of hear her thoughts. But I think it's really important to note that this is just the beginning of the journey and with you guys, and we really want to encourage you to really kind of leverage that peer-to-peer support system. It is so useful. Like, you have no idea how many contacts and kind of insights between you have. And yes, of course, you can come to me, Nadia, Jen, the guys at LSE and your respective universities, but actually between you, if you actually kind of jotted down all of your different contacts in all of the different industries and sectors, then I think you'd probably be quite blown away by that. And so we're going to be creating kind of channels through which you can continue to converse and share experiences, and we really hope that you'll kind of be proactive in that, and we'll try and be as engaged as possible. But I think from a university perspective, it's a real pivotal moment, because I think with accelerator programs, it's sometimes quite ruthless, and there's a very kind of traditional approach to accelerator programs, but there's a whole pool of amazing candidates that apply for this, and we really want to nurture them, and we feel there's a really exciting opportunity to be able to do that with you guys. So as I said, this is just the beginning, and we just want to thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you find it useful, super interactive. Nadia is possibly the most charismatic human on the face of the planet.
Don't say this, please.
No, but the reason I say that is because she'll expect you to get involved, I'm sure. I think Jen and I and Suresh will be checking the chat bot as well, and just making sure that all your questions are answered. But yeah, really do get in, get messy, and just enjoy the session, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Hopefully see you in real life one day as well. This is annoying, isn't it? But we'll make the most of these Zoom windows in the next few minutes that we've got.
Okay. So welcome everyone. I'm so excited to do this because I haven't been in the classroom for a little while. So this is a little bit exciting. I know quite a few of you actually. Many of you don't know me, so I thought I'd give a little bit of an introduction. I am a consultant by trade, so I sound a little bit different from a typical LSE professor. And then I decided to invest time studying social innovation, social entrepreneurship. So did research on India, did my PhD, came back. Then I helped found the SIE degree, which is the Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship degree in LSE. And I did some work with the Innovation Lab. And then I spent some time in Mexico, Bangladesh, Brazil, Latin America, India, Nairobi, Cape Town. And basically, just to explain my heart is I just think that there's so much human potential being wasted through poverty and through injustice. And there's so many failures in the system. So I really want to help people build meaningful social enterprises. So we're actually in the process of writing a book called Designing Innovative Social Enterprises. And the process is actually in the top right-hand corner. And we're working on that now with a group of people, and we've been testing it for about 2 years. So it's been really exciting. And we hope to maybe show you more of that in the future. But today, the task before me is to really talk about testing hypotheses. And for those of you who are SIE, I love you dearly. I can call, like there's 6 people here. You will know all of this. I have to be honest, but I'm really targeting this for people who are sort of young entrepreneurs who may not have done a 1-year degree, but I think it's a beautiful reminder anyway. And I would love your contribution and your experiences to add to the conversation right through, right? Okay, so I am the type of person that believes that we have to start from the beginning. We can't just jump into testing. We have to understand that the process of starting a social enterprise, regardless of what you say, is really a 3-step process, regardless of which approach you use, and there are multiple approaches. It's really the idea of moving from uncertainty to planning to planned an acceptable level of risk. So it involves 3 things, regardless of, as I said, what you do. Developing a social enterprise is about finding a problem worth pursuing. So determining what's possible, and that's through a process of deliberate learning. And then developing an idea that's worth pursuing to address that problem. And that's done through a process of validated learning, and I'll explain the difference between the 2. So you're moving from what's possible with a high level of uncertainty and chaos, and I don't know what's going on, to what's on this side, what's actually plausible, and then finally to what's plannable, which is developing an effective business model to increase your impact and financial sustainability. And there's a reason why I start from this, because what today's session is about is this second step, which is developing and refining your idea so that you know that it's an idea worth pursuing, so that you know what's plausible and what is market ready. But before you do that, my assumption is all of you who have these wonderful ideas out there, and I'm excited to hear them because there's going to come a point in time where you can actually pitch at the end of the session, right? I'm working on the assumption that you've actually found a problem worth pursuing. And it's really, really important that if you haven't actually clearly defined a problem worth pursuing, you take the time now to stop your idea generation and really go back to the problem. And I'm actually going to walk you through a little bit of a process through a case. So the whole session is going to be around a case that I'm going to develop called Drivers for Drivers. And this is something that I've actually done. So my process of developing a social enterprise by first looking at the problem. So we're going to quickly go through the problem, because my view is if you haven't looked at the problem, that's irresponsible. And then once you go through the problem, we will then get to the point where we can start testing ideas. Okay, so don't be concerned. I'm going to show you how it's done. It's not really as complex as you think. You don't have to spend 6 months to a year studying the problem. But it is important in any social enterprise process that you actually ensure that you have a problem worth pursuing. So many people have ideas, a solution in search of a problem. And those types of social enterprises find it really, really difficult to commercialize and scale. But if you find a good problem, a problem that you can bite into with clear social good, with clear social goals. You have no idea what is possible. Okay, so let me just run through. So the way I'm going to do this, because honestly, to do a session on determining if your problem is worth pursuing will take me 3 hours. So the way I'm creatively going to do this is I'm going to show you my process of moving from an initial idea to assessing whether it's a problem worth pursuing. And then once we do that, then we're going to actually go as a group into how do I then start testing that problem? And then you're going to test the problem for your own ideas. Okay, so it all started on a beautiful fall day when I was sitting in a car in Uber. And at that point, of course, because of coronavirus, I was only taking Ubers. And every single Uber driver that I was speaking to was telling me about how much challenges that they're having, how they're losing their cars and their homes. They're actually they're renting cars, they're losing their leases, because during the pandemic, they have not had a good supply of financial income. And it's really destroyed their lives, destroyed their families in foreign countries, because a lot of them actually funding their families. So this was the source. So my idea is I really, really, really wanted to find a solution to develop something financial for ride sharing workers that was better than what they had now. So that was my source, right? But the fact that that's my idea, it may not be an idea worth pursuing. The fact that something is probably needed based on 5 or 6 conversations I've had with people. And often as social entrepreneurs, we get caught up in the whole, oh my God, this difficulty is happening, but we need to push beyond that and really spend some time learning and discovering whether this idea is worth pursuing. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. So what did I do? I decided to move from a position of uncertainty to then look at the problem in a little more detail. And why would I do that? The truth is, we all have schemas or ways in which we understand the world, right? And if I just started thinking, okay, I have this great idea for a financial solution for Uber drivers, and I started implementing it and I started getting involved in it, that is not going to really give me a handle on the true 3-dimensional nature of the problem. It will give me a perspective on one angle of the problem, but I really need to attack or understand the problem from multiple perspectives to see the problem in a 3D way, okay? And that's the first thing I did. So what does this involve? I did a lot of stuff, and this is over 2 weeks, and I personally did it. So I actually looked online and reviewed a set of articles about Uber drivers. Are Uber drivers happy? Study investigates the well-being of Uber drivers, the Uber paradox. I then, in the middle, went and read every single thing on the Uber driver blog, understanding all their problems. I also actually looked at their competitors and what their competitors were offering. And it was really insurance systems. So insurance products and what they were offering to help them with their financial sustainability. I also spoke to a set of Uber drivers and experts in the field. And I spoke to different types of Uber drivers. I spoke to what I call the Donald. So the Donald is 75, retired businessman who lost his job, and reminds me of Donald Trump. So the Donald was a type of Uber driver, and they actually had money, but they didn't have enough pension, or they were concerned about the economy and etc. And then I also spoke to young Uber drivers. So I collected all this information, right, around my idea that there needs to be some new financial model for Uber drivers. And based on this information, I then developed what we call the pyramid of knowledge. And the pyramid of knowledge is just a simplified version of all the knowledge that I've collected across the different genres to kind of help me to get to grasp with what is the problem here with these Uber drivers. And what I found in the pyramid of knowledge, I found that there were about 5 causes of the problem. And they were the fact that the supply of the drivers outstripped the demand for the drivers, largely because everybody who was furloughed and stuff started driving for Uber. So the traditional drivers, the traditional Uber drivers didn't have access anymore to a lot of the customers. So they were barely getting any work. They had lack of control over their fees. The insurance products they didn't like, and they didn't think it was value added. And then customers really are not motivated necessarily to pay them more during this period. I also found that whatever solution I come up with, they said that it must maintain their flexibility and the solution must be cost neutral. It can't cost them anything. And finally, I had some really interesting aha moments. And aha moments are things that I didn't expect. Firstly, a lot of the drivers spoke to me and told me they really hate being on multiple apps. And loads of them were actually well educated in their own countries. But even though they were well educated, they decided to drive Uber in this country. So there was this pool of knowledge and capability there that weren't being used by the drivers. It's on this basis, on the basis that I understood the problem, I was now in a position to develop an idea in response to the problem. So before you even test the idea, guys, you have to collect information on the problem so that you have a sense of the problem, so that you can actually develop an idea worth pursuing, okay? So you have to make sure that the problem is worth pursuing. So you have to do the generative work, because an unclear problem, an action based on an unclear problem leads to a whole load of challenges later on. So as much as this session is on testing the idea, there is a generative step. There is work you have to do before you even go there. And I love Adam Levine's wait. So I want you guys to remember, wait, before you even start testing the idea, is your problem a problem worth pursuing? And one more thing, I keep saying a problem worth pursuing. Can I quantify that? Can I give you some indicators when a problem is worth pursuing? The first thing is whether there is scale, whether the problem has some scale or has potential to scale. In my case, I have 300,000 Uber drivers in the UK and 40,000 of them in London. So if I actually I'm going to solve a problem, there is potential to scale this idea. The second thing I generally look at when it's a problem worth pursuing is whether or not there's an underserved need or a dire problem to be solved. Here, there's a dire problem to be solved. The impact of COVID is probably going to last for the next 2 to 3 years. And the fact that these people are on the breadline, are actually going to food banks for their food, are losing their cars and their homes, are not able to support their families in the third world. So there's definitely an underserved need. Does my idea generate self-sufficiency rather than dependency? Yes, my problem, if I address this problem, it will increase their self-sufficiency rather than their dependency on social systems. And are there long-term benefits? Yes, of course, giving these people the power to make more money and generate their own income will of course have long-term benefits. And finally, is there urgency? And in my case, I think there's an urgency for addressing this. And there's a recession, because there's a recession technically coming according to the statistics. So again, before we actually jump into the testing, you need to deep dive into the idea, and then you need to make sure that your problem is actually worth pursuing. Are there any questions on this? So maybe I should ask the group, how many of you are pursuing an idea and feel that you have analyzed it enough, or you understand enough about the idea, about the issue and the problems associated with the idea? And I'm actually going to call some names before. So Sampada.
Hi, Nadia. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I do actually have a plan with my partner who's also there. And we do think that out of the 5 points, I would say that you've listed here, I think that we have done 3 or 4 for sure in our idea. Good. Yeah.
So you think your problem is definitely worth pursuing? It's scalable. It meets a need.
We want